greetings, Region 3 and the rest of Starfleet. I'm Jeremy Karsten, your regional coordinator, for those that don't know me. Here we are in COVID isolation and, surviving our mini apocalypse here. So we're trying to do things different since we don't have a summit this year. So we're going to do it virtually and see where that gets us. Hope everyone's staying safe at home. And if you have to go out, you're taking the appropriate precautions. With that, let's see how many staff members managed to get here. I know my VRC, Lucy Frank, is here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad you're here.
I believe we have the Vice Chief of Operations, if not the Chief of Operations, Tank.
Hello. Good to see y'all.
I believe we had our Vice Chief of Communications, Tricia.
Hey, welcome everyone to another exciting afternoon of Region 3 Fun and Games.
Exactly. Did we find our wayward Chief of Administration? Oh, we did. Rob, welcome.
Hello, hello.
What about our Chief Operations Officer? Oh, we've got our Chief of Communications, Sarah Hayes.
Afternoon, everybody.
And our illustrious IT support, Kelly.
Hello.
Did we find anybody else that wandered in? Maybe Chief of Operations, Quartermaster. Okay, I guess that's what we got right now. I'm sure folks will trickle in. I know some folks have been having some technical difficulties, and that's what you do. We fight through it in these crazy times. So yeah, Street says, go ahead and share the link with your crew for everybody to enjoy. We're going to have some briefings, what staff's been doing, even though we're facing this crazy year. We'll have some award announcements, and then we'll take Q&A, and after that we have a really fun panel after that with TRMN and CAG. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope everybody else is too. See, I have a schedule here, I promise. Let's go ahead and start with our staff report. Sarah, you want to start us off?
Actually, I was going to ask if the postmaster had anything he wanted to say first.
Works for me. Kelly?
Not really anything new going on right now. Just trying to keep things working. Be aware that the region lists don't deliver very well to Yahoo and AOL email addresses and maybe a few others. If you're on the list and not getting anything, you might try creating a Gmail account just to subscribe to the list. That's about all I have got.
And to add to that, we're asking everybody to make sure that they're checking their email. And if they're getting email, that's great. And if they're not, please let us know, because what we get are error messages, but we don't have any way to reach the person, because right now you can't even get into the database to see about a stamp mail address. They're doing the maintenance on it. They're moving it to the new database. So that's a good thing. But in the middle of that, there's a glitch. The other thing is Trish has been doing a most amazingly excellent job keeping the region's webpage up to date, and we invite people to add their events to the calendars there and to send us messages of what they want posted if they have an event coming up. We will be updating that later in the day for the upcoming virtual IC and international muster for the Marines, and that's all I have.
Thanks, Sarah. And yeah, to foot stomp what Sarah and Kelly said, if it's a Yahoo or an AOL or some of those older email servers or services that we used, back in the aughts and the, those just aren't working really well with anything, not just Region 3, but Starfleet has the same issues. Starfleet Marines are having the same issues. So I urge you, use Gmail if you can, whenever you can. If you've got an Android phone, you've already got a Gmail address. So I'd recommend using that and update that in the database so that that's your official form of communication.
Yeah, that is important.
Let's go to Tank. What's cooking in ops?
We have just added a new ship to Region 3. Welcome to the Akira-class USS Masamune, commanded by Commodore Davis in Universal City. Their mothership is the Battleborn, so I know they're going to be taken care of pretty well, and I'm happy to see them coming aboard.
I see Jason's online with us, so congratulations on that launch there, Jason. Looking forward to you guys' endeavors. Glad we finally got that underway. I know you and I have been talking about that over years for years now, so it's fun to see it actually come to fruition. Trish, did you have any other additional?
Basically, just if anybody does anything, and even if you don't think it's exciting, hey, we just went to the park and did a geocaching outing. Feel free to send some pictures, write up a short little article, and I'm always happy to post it on the website. I'm pretty quick on the turnaround because we want to share it right now. It's kind of a little boring out there right now, and I'd like to jazz up the website and be able to have some fresh material. Also, if anybody needs help with marketing or recruiting, the flyers are still available, and I'm happy to forward them to you and customize them with your logo and URL on the back. Just basically, I know it's a tough time out there right now with recruiting, but if you need to bounce ideas around or anything like that, I am definitely available.
Yes, Fleet First Initiative still strong. We haven't forgotten about it. It's as far as I'm concerned, Region 3 still leading the way on what everybody should be doing, and maybe we can convince Big Fleet that's a bigger marketing initiative that they should finally adopt now that there's a little bit more stability in that office. So we'll be working on that, and we've got the time to do it. Right? We're all kind of at home.
Exactly. I'm boring. I'm quite bored right now. Please, I can do something. Okay, where do you email? You can email me at pirate.trisha@gmail.com.
Or there's a link on the R3 website to contact.
There's that too.
In case you can't remember, we've got that staff link there. So who we got? Let's go to we're gonna save admin here since that's mostly going to be awards. So let's go to Lucy.
Good afternoon again. As Vice Region Coordinator, I, of course, keep up with all of the ECAB emails and news since I serve as a backup to Jeremy if he should ever need me. The ECAB has been not as active with emails, as you can imagine, during the last few months because of the COVID-19 keeping everybody pretty much in place, and nobody's been having summits or cons or things. But I do read all of their emails, including the budget, the Starfleet budget, any amendment proposals, and other business that the ECAB is conducting, so that I stay current on those matters should I be needed. Also, I mail out each month anniversary cards to those chapters in our region that are celebrating the anniversary of their chapter's commissioning. So I hope you've been receiving those. And also I do send out sympathy cards anytime you have a chapter member or a former Starfleet member that passes away in your area. If you would please be sure to notify Jeremy and myself directly please send us an email directly. Don't count on us being able to catch it on Facebook or something. Please be sure to email us directly. And if possible, give us a name and mailing address for the next of kin so that we can send a note of sympathy to the family. Also, I do review all of the MSRs every month, and I make notes on all of the charitable contributions and volunteer hours, and help keep up with that throughout the year for the RC. I serve on the committee for promotions and for the awards and any other committees that Jeremy assigns me to throughout the year. So those are some of the things that I do from this office. Because things have been pretty much shut down, the cards have been going out every month to the chapters for their anniversaries. And if I have anybody's anniversary incorrect, be sure to correct me. I'm using the information on the database, and as we have found in the past, sometimes that's not always correct. So if I get something wrong, be sure to correct me. I am also the chairman for the next in-person Regional 3 Summit that we're going to have. Jeremy, are you ready for me to talk about that for a little bit, or do you want to hold off?
No, go for it.
Okay. All right. As everybody knows, we had a little hiccup going on, and a big hiccup, actually. And we had to postpone Region 3 Summit from June 2020 to June 2021. It will be June the 11th through the 13th. That's still the second weekend of June in Beaumont at the Holiday Inn and Suites. And you see now some pictures of that lovely facility that we will be in. And on your top right, you see a picture of the lobby, and you see the horizontal balconies that are on each floor. We will be able to hang our banners from those balconies. That's something we've not been able to do before. Hotels are sometimes real, particular about hanging things on their walls, but they are going to let us put our banners up. So imagine that lobby filled with banners from Region 3 and our chapters. And so be sure to bring your banner when you come to Summit so that we can hang it up from the balconies, and everybody that walks in the hotel will be able to see those. There is a indoor-outdoor swimming pool. You see a picture on the upper left of the greenery, which is the breakfast restaurant. You can get a full breakfast or a continental breakfast every morning there in the greenery. On the upper right, you see a typical banquet layout in one of their large banquet rooms. And the lower left, you see a typical setup for one of their conference rooms. And in the middle, you do see our logo for Summit 2020. We have not had a chance to change that yet to 2021, but that will get done. Everybody that registered as an early bird registration for Summit 2020 was automatically rolled over into registration for Summit 2021. So you don't have to do anything if you're already registered. The guest rooms are $95 a night for a king or standard double. That's plus taxes, of course. They do also have a few suites available if you would like to go that route, and they're a little bit more. They have 4 handicap rooms, so if you need a handicap room, please be sure to reserve that room well in advance. All of those, well, I can't say all, the few people that had already made their room reservations by early March, those were all automatically canceled. So everybody will need to make new room reservations when we announce the new reservation code for our block of rooms. And I expect that to be sometime in the late fall, no later than the first of the year, that we will put out that new room reservation code to get our special date. The dates are June 11 through 13th. I see your question. It's still the second weekend of June, just 1 year later than we had originally planned. There will be, of course, a Marine dress mess on Friday night and the Admiral's banquet on Saturday night. And the cost for both banquets is each $45. And you will have a choice of entree for each of those banquets. It will be served buffet style. That was the way we had to go in order to offer more than one entree choice. So you will be able to pick from the entrees that will be on the serve yourself buffet. Let's see, we're going to have some great swag bags for registrants when they come in June. I'm going to preview one of the items that will be in the swag bags. This is an aluminum water bottle, and this will be in all of the swag bags that we will have for registrants. So you'll have that to look forward to, along with some other goodies and special items that we will have for you in your registration bags. Are there any questions that I can answer at this time? Oh, I thought of one other thing. There is a bar in the lobby of the hotel, and we will have a bartender in our banquet room Friday night and Saturday night that will open prior to the meals so that you can go ahead and get your libation before dinner starts. So that is also something to look forward to. Are there any questions that I can answer at this time? Joshua Laughlin, I hope will be on shortly, and he's going to give us some additional information about Beaumont and the Beaumont area. If he doesn't make it in for some reason, then you can come back to me later, and I'll give you some additional information that hopefully will get you excited about Summit in June 2020. Boy, after missing this year being able to get together, we're going to have a whole lot to celebrate, and it will be a wonderful family reunion for all of us when we get together in June, and I'm looking forward to it so much. I miss all of you. I know we all miss seeing each other, and we can't wait for you to join us for Summit 2021. Start putting your quarters in a jar somewhere, whatever you might need to do to get your funds together for registration and banquets and the hotel rooms. You will be able to split up your payments so that you can register at one time, and then a little later before the deadline you can pay for your banquets. So you kind of can spread out your payments that way to make it a little more affordable on the budgets. I see the question about registration. We will start registration again come the first of the year. In early January, we will have a brief early bird registration period again, and then there will be regular registrations after that brief early bird period. The early bird registration cost is $35. After that brief early bird window, then the regular registration is $40. And if you can't make plans ahead of time and show up at the door that weekend, the registration is $45. So I will post messages everywhere to let you know when that registration period will begin again. Until then, just start planning on it and putting your nickels and dimes away so that you'll be ready to get your registration in. Any other questions? Did I
1 second.
cover the price well enough? $35 for early bird, $40 for regular registration, $45 at the door. $95 for the guest rooms for a king or standard double, which is 2 queen beds. Anything else? Okay, then be sure to have June the 11th through the 13th, 2021 on your calendar so that you can come join us for the biggest celebration we've had after having to skip this year with Summit. So it'll be a big party. Come join us. Thank you. And if you have any other questions that come up, you can always email me directly at vrc@region3.org. Jeremy?
Yeah, so I noticed a couple more questions there. The price, as Lucy said, was 40. Depending on when you register during those early birds, it would be as low as 35. Briefly, and then yes, plus ones, plus whatever are allowed. I mean, they're your guests. The more the merrier. And Reed put up the quartermaster link right there, so that's where you'll go at that time to make your order. So thanks, Lucy. As everyone can tell, Lucy keeps this show running. She says she has a small department, but she does a whole lot of things, and a lot of it is really the heart of Region 3 and the staff work. It's those personal touches that I really appreciate. And you know, those consolation sympathy cards. Yeah, it's one of those things I always recognized. She always did it, and she took care of it, and it was great. And then, well, when I got one for my dad, that was just a little surreal. But thank you again, and thanks for keeping everything, like I said, putting the heart and soul into this and that personal touch from staff. Thank you.
Okay, I do see a question about the +1. Anyone that is going to attend the functions at Region does have to pay the registration price. Now, in the past, we have had some families come in where the kids are not really attending summit activities. And if they're not attending the summit activities, then you don't have to pay registration for them. They might want to spend the day in the swimming pool, and that's fine. But if they come to the banquet, and anybody can come to the banquets at night, you do have to buy a banquet ticket for each person that will be attending, because we do pay per person for the banquet meals. So everybody has to have a banquet ticket. The cadet price, by the way, is $15 for either the dress mess or the Admiral's banquet. But like I said, anybody that's going to be attending any of the meetings or the general sessions, those persons do need to register, and it's the same price for everybody.
Yep, everyone needs a ticket. Everyone needs a ticket. It used to be where Summit was how we raised money for the region, due to us trying to keep prices down, so and not raise them for you guys. We're lucky to break even anymore. So any of these prices that we're throwing out there are really what it's costing us to do this for you. We're not making money off of this one. But you know, it's an important event to put on, and you know, especially now more than ever, you know, really looking forward to it since we didn't get to see each other this year. So we will we'll have a really big party. Really look forward to it. Federation and Klingons. Got to bring the batleth.
Yes, I guess I forgot to say that. The theme is the Federation and the Klingon Empire, and there will be Klingons present. So come prepared to defend the Federation.
All right, Rob, are we getting ready to talk about some awards? You want to give any report on your stuff first before we dive into that?
Sure. So there's
been
thanks. There's been you know, not too much going on in the administration office since I took over. I got the you know, we took care of the awards for this year, and then I got those taken care of and sent up to the fleet level. And that awards presentation for the fleet level will be in 2 weeks from today on their mini summit, virtual mini summit, or mini IC. So and then after this, we're going to start working on rewording the you know, the manual, the awards manual. So we'll get some of the old words that we don't use anymore, like zone leader and things like that, out of there, and get that correct and ready to go for next year's awards. That's pretty much all that's been going on in my department. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. Before we get started on this year's award, I have an apology and a correction to make. Last year, I missed a chapter for commendation. I've had the award sitting here forever. I think at least since last August. After our summit, I went and fixed. I got it made and all that. And then the holidays happened, and then life's craziness, and then now COVID. I've not been able to get it to them. So let us start with the commendation for the Archangel Station that they should have got last year for 2018. So
Okay.
we're going to start it off with that one. So
There we go.
Make it up for lost time. Sorry, I think I need to put it here. So I put it up here. It turns into a Romulan award and disappears. So forgive my trying to place things weirdly against my chest here. We've got one for you. Whenever we can actually meet up, I've had this ready. We need to find time to maybe have a nice meal over in your area of the woods again. You guys got several restaurants over there in Austin I miss, and I miss you guys too. So needed to start off with the apology and make things right. So. All right, Rob, where are we at?
Okay, you want to just go ahead and with this year's awards?
Let's do some awards.
Okay, well then, good afternoon and welcome to the Region 3 Awards presentation. This evening we'll be presenting regional awards for 2019 and the Region 3 winners of the annual awards for 2019. So we're going to start out with the commendations, just like the one that was awarded to the Archangel for last year. So Region 3 commendations recognize chapters that have made outstanding contributions in their participation, community service, and or charitable fundraising. The 2019 chapter commendation recipients are the USS Battleborn for charitable fundraising.
There we go. And notice new shape this year. We're dicing it up so everything's distinctive. So if people get awards, you can tell the difference between some of them.
I like that. That's the first time I've seen that too, so I like that. The second chapter commendation for this year is going to go to the USS Diamondback for their charitable fundraising. And there's Jeremy.
I know you guys probably can't read it very well over my body there, but I promise it's got your names on it here.
No, you're doing a great job modeling. I love it.
First time I've ever been told that.
All right, and the next one is going to the USS Zavala for hosting the Region 3 Day at Space Center Houston this past year. So that's,
and they also raised a ton of money for charity last year too. We can't seem to take away the RC Cup from them. Try as we might.
Yes, so that's on my next line here. The USS Zavala received the RC Cup trophy for the chapter with the most charitable donations for 2019.
I haven't seen that trophy since I first gave it to him, guys. I don't have anything to show up this time. We're just going to have them do plaques from this year to this year instead of a plaque each year, I think.
Yeah, right. Just do one, and it's like 2015.
They do great work, and they're the reigning defenders, and they're the chapter to beat. And I encourage and challenge everyone to try.
Absolutely.
I do
we
have
love
the
fundraising.
trophy.
So.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I always thought it was a cool looking trophy. I'd love to see it again someday.
Do your best. Do your best.
Visit our table at the cons once they open back up.
Right.
You can check it out.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, we've got the Creative Media Award. So how we communicate with each other and the public has changed greatly in recent years. The Creative Media Awards were established to recognize outstanding achievement in electronic and print media. The recipient of the 2019 Zenith Award for Print Communication is the USS Sea Tiger's Monthly Roar. Congratulations to the USS Sea Tiger.
I'm trying to get the light off of that so you can, yeah. You can kind of read the text, but I guess. Usually
I like that.
Yeah, I went a little crazy this year, and I went with a trophy for that one. It's a little different than the annual awards, but distinctive.
That one looks like it could fall over and not break. Every trophy I get, Nope. Got all kinds of trophies for baseball. Not a single one has a bat anymore.
Oh no.
They fall. They get put in a box. Boom, it's gone. That
Well,
one looks very hardy and
fine
solid.
for when we're ordering all this hardware, make sure it's structurally sound, I guess.
Right. Okay, so that is it for the non of the year awards. So we're going to start with our of the year awards here. And we're going to start with the Enlisted Member of the Year. So the Enlisted Member of the Year displays consistent support for and contribution to their chapter, their region, and Starfleet. Though not holding an officer's rank, this individual has shown the most unfailing dedication and willingness to do what it takes to get a quality job done. The winner of the 2019 Region 3 Enlisted Member of the Year is Armando Fuentes of the USS Corsair. Congratulations, Armando. Amazing. Another trophy that I like. Wow. That looks great. I love the 3D star. Wow.
Yeah, it really. I like it.
That is
They do great
fantastic.
work. We've been using this vendor for our awards now at least 3-4 years, I think. And they do great work every time. They give us great deals, and every time I walk in there, there's like new shiny products and toppers and stuff to look at. So I'm like a kid in a candy shop. And I try and do a different top every year so that, again, things aren't static.
Nice. Yeah, no, it looks great. Okay, next up is Officer of the Year. So we've gone from Enlisted Member of the Year. This is going to be our Officer Member of the Year. So to be Officer of the Year, an individual must demonstrate outstanding direction and guidance for fellow members and set an example of consistent leadership. The 2019 Region 3 Officer of the Year is Robert Hall from the USS Zavala. Commander Robert Hall. Congratulations,
There you go,
Robert Hall. Definitely.
That's a hard-working man right there.
That's great. Yes. Puts a lot of time in. Absolutely. Okay. So congratulations to Robert Hall. Next up, we have the Commanding Officer of the Year. So the Commanding Officer of the Year is an individual who has shown exemplary leadership and motivational skills and provides outstanding direction and vision for his or her chapter. The recipient of the 2019 Region 3 Commanding Officer of the Year award is Vice Admiral Trisha Tunis of the USS Corsair.
There you go, Trish.
Hey!
We're trying to
Congratulations,
do the other panel there. No.
Huzzah!
Awesome. Congratulations, Trish. Fantastic. Okay. So next up, we have Flag Officer of the Year. So holding the rank of Fleet Captain or above, the Flag Officer of the Year is the individual who best embodies the ideals, visions, and philosophy of Star Trek, and who demonstrates consistent exemplary support for and contribution to the chapter, region, and Starfleet. I can't think of anybody better. The 2019 Region 3 Flag Officer of the Year is Brigadier General Jeremy Carson of the USS Battleborn.
Well,
Congratulations, boss.
Less time to travel. Thank you guys very much. Congratulations to Rob for saying all those nice things with a straight face. Appreciate it. I'm honored. Thank you. I don't have a big speech for that one. I'm just going to keep doing what I do, and hopefully it continues to work.
Ground and pound, man. Absolutely. Okay. Congratulations to Jeremy. Awesome. All right. Our last of the year award is Chapter of the Year. So the most distinguished chapter of the region is named Chapter of the Year. Through community service, administration, vision, and the promotion of the philosophy of Star Trek, the Chapter of the Year represents the best of what a Starfleet chapter should be. The 2019 Region 3 Chapter of the Year is the USS Corsair. Yes! Congratulations to the USS Corsair.
That was a hard-working chapter last year.
Oh, yeah.
Your MSRs were exhausting to read. You're constantly busy through an amazing summit, it was pretty clear cut on that one. So
Well-
congratulations to Corsair and all your crew.
Well, you know what? We'll celebrate hard next year with Lucy in Beaumont. How's that sound?
Sounds great. Congratulations.
Oh, no, thank you.
Absolutely. So congratulations to all of our winners for tonight. The Starfleet Annual Awards, like I mentioned, will be announced on August 1st at the Mini IC. That's 2 weeks from today. So all of those winners have been forwarded up to Starfleet, and we'll see if we can take home some fleet level awards.
And we'll be reaching out to all the award winners to see how best to get these to you. Whether you would like us to, drop it in the mail and get it to you immediately, or try and hold on to a time where hopefully when we can come visit each other again, maybe I'll bring it by for something for those that I can reach. Corsair, I'm pretty sure yours is going in the mail for a minute. I don't know that I'm going to get it back out to Louisiana anytime soon. My travel budget's a little bit eaten up for anything that extreme this year. But we'll get them to you one way or another, and Rob and I will contact you on how best to do that. There was not one nominated.
Yeah, we didn't receive a nomination for Shakedown
Yeah,
Chapter of the Year.
And technically, we did not have that new chapter in El Paso had not been in fleet long enough to win a 2019 award.
Yeah, you would actually be
They would be
eligible.
eligible for 2020, but they weren't. But Elizabeth, y'all weren't ready to apply for 2019. You had not been in fleet long enough.
Yeah, it had to be the bulk of years. So your eligibility year is actually this year, which is why we didn't have a nomination. So, and so that also goes along with the support chapter, right? They have to have an eligible ship to support during that timeline. So I
That's
think
right.
for you guys, I think your year so it's you for Shakedown, and I believe it was Tarvos was your support chapter, would be their eligibility. But still, we don't award anything without a nomination. So get those nominations in, because I'm not sending a blank one north to fleet. And all these award winners go up to fleet to compete at fleet level. So yeah, that's how that game is played. So yeah, we'll. It looks like you might have a little competition this year. The Masamune, I believe it is. I probably butchered that pronunciation. I think I'm gonna have to sign off on. Watch what I sign off on. Make sure I can pronounce chapters before I let them launch. Which is gonna totally derail anything Klingon. But it might be some competition that this year, which I always look forward to competition. I like reading all the good works and nominations. So get those nominations in, and congratulations to everybody, and thank you all for your really hard work. That's what this is for, to recognize you and your efforts. So I'm going to try and move these over. Lucy, take the wheel for a minute while I try and get these escorted safely away from my jazz hands here.
Okay. Apparently, Joshua Laughlin from the USS Endurance in Beaumont was not able to join us. I haven't seen him pop up yet in our backstage. So he was going to share a little bit with you about Beaumont. But I'll go ahead and do a little bit of that for him. At the Summit Hotel, there are a lot of options nearby in Beaumont for restaurants, for eating at night or during the day, for lunch, or if you want to eat breakfast away from the hotel. There are a lot of different options. A lot of places very close by, within 5 or 10 minutes of the hotel. You've got a lot of things to choose from, including, if I can find my list, here it is. The Floyd's Cajun Seafood and Texas Steakhouse, the Golden Corral, Iron Skillet Restaurant, Jason's Deli, Rockin' A Cafe, McDonald's, Willie Burger, Raising Cane's, Joe's Crab Shack, Cheddar's, Waffle House, and Papado's. Those are all very close to the Summit Hotel. Also, there is a Cinemark Theater that is across the highway from the hotel. We're certainly hoping that everything's going to be open by this time next year. there are a lot of attractions in Beaumont as well. And if we have enough interest, we may try to work up an away mission, perhaps Sunday afternoon after Summit, if we've got people that would like to go on a little group away mission. There are a lot of different things to see and do, more than I realized at first until I went to Beaumont and started looking around. You may even want to come in early or stay after Summit for a little while longer to be able to take in some of the attractions. There's the Beaumont Botanical Gardens and Cattail Marsh, Gator Country Adventure Park, the Texas Energy Museum, the Art Museum of Southeast Texas, Spindletop Boomtown Museum, the Clifton Steamboat Museum, the Natchez River Adventures Boat Tour. That sounds like a fun thing. We could all go on a boat tour. A Fire Museum of Texas, and the Colorado Canyon Family Fun Center. So plan to stay a little while longer or come in early to Beaumont if you would like to participate in any of those great attractions that they have. And like I said, if we have enough interest, we might want to do a group activity Sunday afternoon after we officially shut down Summit at noon on Sunday. Then we have Sunday afternoon. If there's still people around that would like to do an activity, we can see about doing one of these as a group. And those of you that are bringing family members in that aren't going to be involved in the Summit activities, like some of the kids or teenagers, they might want to go to the Family Fun Center or some of the other attractions in the area as well. So there's plenty for everybody to do and see in Beaumont. And just another reason why you need to make your plans now. Be sure to put in for vacation time so that you'll have some time to spend with us and enjoy Summit and being in Beaumont, a place that many of us have probably never spent much time in, other than passing through on the way to Baton Rouge. So this will be a great opportunity to explore Beaumont. Again, if you have any other questions, be sure to send them my way. And if I don't have the information at hand, I will find out for you. Back to Jeremy.
Thanks, Lucy. And yeah, we knew that Josh might get called in. He'd alerted us to that possibility today. So thanks for taking over for him. So we've done staff reports. We've done awards. The only report you haven't gotten is mine yet. We've got about 15 minutes before we start the next panel, so I'm going to go a little bit quick on this. During the CCO meeting, I'll go into depth on these issues. So your COs will have the information. There's been a slight change to flag promotion, not necessarily the criteria as much, but the nomination forms and how they're going to route those. They've got basically a questionnaire to fill out to make the nomination flow a little bit more smoothly so that everybody is being kind of graded on the same criteria. And so that'll push through, and I'll push the form out there as well, and link that on the Region 3 website, probably under our promotion section, just so that all the links work right. You can go to the same place, so you have one-stop shopping. Database, of course, still delayed, and the current one we got is getting lovelier by the day. I think it took us about a week and a half to get the Masamune all settled in, where the CO could actually do what the CO needed to do and have control and file MSRs and all that kind of stuff after their launch, which is the longest I've ever seen that take. It was very incremental. Like, they would change one thing and then another thing would. It's a mess. We're just asking everyone to hold tight, keep good records yourselves, especially at the chapter and personal level, so that when we do finally have a new database, we can make sure we go populate it correctly. There is going to be, I remember discussing it at the last summit. GDPR training's coming. They got it finished. It is now being reviewed and QC'd. I haven't seen it yet. They're going to show it to they've told the AB that it exists. It was mentioned in one of the CS's After Dark episodes, I believe. I think it was an After Dark, not an AMA. But it exists, it's coming, and then anyone who has any database access, COs, XOs, RCs, it's going to be an annual training requirement. Pass or fail, have to get it done. We will make policy reflecting that after we review it and make sure that whatever lenient period or grace period should get initial things done, we'll figure that out. So I don't have a timeline for that, but know that it is coming, and it will be here by the end of this year, certainly, probably within the next couple months. So those are the big rocks of what's happening across fleet and how it will impact us here. On that, I know we've got a bunch of people online. I'm glad to see so many scrolling names and faces. If there's any questions, we could field a couple. How will the GDPR test be administered? It's going to go through the academy the same as the rest of the tests. So just like your OTS, OCC, how to be a Bajoran, whatever. And if you think about it, this is going to be like an extension of those requirements we have for things, OTS, OCC, and now this will just be another one. And honestly, some of those others should probably be, a timeline of refreshers as well. I took my OCC test initially, I think, in the 90s. A completely different organization these days. So, we might want to do that. GDPR will be annual, yes. That is a requirement we cannot change. And as that grows, it's going to be more than just GDPR. It's going to be data protection, because there are new laws coming into place in places like Colorado and California and Canada, and apparently anywhere else that starts with a C is making these data protection laws, which we're going to have to comply with them all. But fortunately, they all kind of mirror, like GDPR is the most stringent. So if we apply with that, we're in compliance with most everything across the board. So those are coming. I don't, there will be different levels of tests depending on what your access is. For COs and XOs, it should be fairly straightforward because you're not, database administrators, which is a whole different bucket of worms. So, do we know when the academy will fully operational yet? What do we mean by fully operational? I understand that it's going. I don't know, like, if every course. I mean, are you talking about like getting everything fully Moodleized to the greatest? I don't have that level of crystal ball. I have no idea. But I think most things are running one way or the other. Even if you have to go do the manual email the director sort of thing. Beat Bajoran, complain about Kardashians and pray. Yeah, and again, we will go into a little bit more in depth in this and have time for discussion during the CCO meeting so that COs can bring all that information to your crews. So, yeah, so next up, we're going to do CAG and TRMN, two organizations, other fan organizations that we've partnered with before successfully. And so we want to check on them, see how they're doing, and have discussions and see maybe where we can partner again in the future. So we've always had a good time with them when we have. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll have the CCO meeting on Zoom, not on this. And that email has already gone out. That link is out. The CO should have it. If you don't, let me know. Any last minute questions? I think we can take a break between the next one, and so everyone can go get refill their glasses. Bio breaks is needed before we talk to CAG and TRMN. Last rounds, saved rounds. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to my staff for keeping things going throughout the year, keeping me where I need to be, and keeping the region running. Thank everyone for showing up. It's a virtual thing. We might do more virtual things. If you liked this, if you didn't like it, please give us constructive feedback one way or the other. So if there are more virtual things we can do, we can figure out how best to serve. All right, let's go to the screen and a pause there, Ed, and then we'll pick back up at 4 o'clock. Who all do we have back? Did we get Matthew and Rune in?
Here.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Excellent. Welcome, gents. Thanks for coming to Region 3's little virtual mini summit.
It should be fun.
How are you guys faring out in your
Thanks for having me.
fair neck of the woods there?
So, keeping safe.
Pretty
and
well,
sound.
if I can get this straight.
Sorry, I was having a wardrobe malfunction too. That's why I'm down to a t-shirt here. I'll go put something else on here in a bit. But again, no, thanks for
That's good.
For joining us. I wanted to showcase your two organizations specifically because we've partnered with you guys in the past and had a great time. Always enjoy each other's company. And so as we go through all this, I think we're going to, ask a little questions to get to know your organization a little bit better. But how are you guys organizations, since it's probably a pressing question and to start off with, how are each of your organizations handling this isolationism?
Well, our local task group for TRMN are doing online meetings for now, using Discord and stuff like that.
Yeah, the CAG set up a con. We called it CAG Con. 3 weeks ago. Had over 300 people show up with different panels on Klingon, etc., handled through Discord. So we had a nice sized Discord server with a lot of people showing up and participating. Other than that, virtual meetings, we've used Discord, we've used Zoom. We're actually having, our local ship is having a meeting next week face to face. But just kind of for it's a smaller gathering, but it'll be in a private residence, so we don't have to worry about public social distancing.
CAGCon, 300 people. That's pretty amazing.
So,
I know there's a couple.
Yeah, I was really happy with the result.
I'm stunned. I'm like, wow, 300 people. I think we're going to rock maybe 25 today. It's but congratulations on that. That's a huge success.
Yeah, we just say there weren't over 300 concurrently. That's grand total, but it works.
Yeah,
we had Alex Peters of Axonar fame giving us a talk. We had some costuming panels. Klingon bartending was a very well attended panel.
Klingon bartending. I've usually only seen them steal a bottle or dunk things into a vat of things. I didn't realize it was such a detailed process.
How does one synthesize Romulan ale? Those kinds of things were discussed.
Oh, awesome. Trade your best Warnog recipes, huh?
Yes.
And I know TRMN's very active in the con scene. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of cons this year.
Yeah.
I know my favorite, where I usually interacted with you guys, got pushed back to next year, FenCon. But I know you guys have a lot more that you guys have visited.
We've been working into increasing our convention presence this year, but unfortunately, the COVID situation has limited us to online stuff like the summit.
Well, you can say that you guys made 100% of the conventions in your area this year.
That is correct, sir.
That's bad joke, I guess. But numbers, you can make them lie however you want. But yeah, I've definitely seen you guys at FenCon and other fun things.
FenCon is a local task group annual meeting, as it were.
Yeah. So for those not aware, task group, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 61.1.
Yeah, that's all task group. It's pretty much all Texas.
Yeah, it covers Texas, so that's kind of why it's a regional almost equivalent, and that's who we tend to partner with.
Yeah.
When we talk TRMN, it's usually those guys specifically.
Yeah.
Great group of folks. I'm guilty. I'm a part of the organization, but not necessarily that task group. So it's still fun to get with them.
Yeah, we still love you though.
And so, how is CAG organized? You guys have regions or anything like that structurally?
We with the whole world is split up into fleets, and so you have different fleets which have subdivisions inside there. We're part of the Cold Revenge fleet, or the Cold Revenge quadrant, which is Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, and Oklahoma. So that's the local group that we're part of. And within the quadrant, there are individual ships. We have the Suvita, which is out of the Dallas area, the Lac Ving, which is out of the Houston area. Bayou Serpent is over by New Orleans. There are another 4 or 5 ships in this region.
That's awesome. I apologize in advance if I keep here. I'm trying not to sneeze in front of everybody. I don't have the COVID. I've got terrible damn allergies. So if I duck away and the seat's spinning, that's why. I apologize in advance. Try not to blow out everybody's eardrums with my sneezes there. So like us, structured into fleets and things like that. And where are you in that lineup structurally? Are you the fleet commander or?
I'm the executive officer for our quadrant.
Oh, okay.
So my rank is lieutenant commander, and I'm the XO for the Cold Revenge quadrant. So the Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas quadrant area.
Oh, that's a really big chunk of land there. I thought I was.
Like, so they're about.
I thought I was having it rough with just Texas and Louisiana.
Yeah, they're about 6. Yeah. Only 2 of which are particularly active. We've got several smaller, almost outpost style ships that are fairly dormant, but they still participate once in a while. So.
Oh, that's excellent. So I know both of you sent me some slides. I've not got a chance to review them, but I have them. Would you like me to pull them up and do that here?
Well, yeah.
All right.
Sure.
If you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, we can give it a go. Well, yeah. Anytime now. Okay, that does not want to open. Where are we doing this? Okay.
The TRMN stands for the Royal Manticoran Navy.
Oh yeah, we probably should have started with that. Yeah, and CAG stands for
The Klingon Assault Group. So it was the Klingon Assault Group. I don't know if lag caught me there, but it's Klingon Assault Group.
Come on, computer. This was all working a minute ago, of course. So, so now it doesn't want to play. Okay, here we go.
Of course.
Maybe. View. Wow, that was fun. All right, I guess I'm going to go with CAG because TRM one doesn't want to open right yet. Let's see if I can get this. This bad boy open. Any?
So I can generally talk through the slides. If you don't have them available, I can just give the oral version here.
Okay, I think I've got it. Need to go back and share screen. No, it'll be this one. All right. Can we see them?
Yep.
Hey, something's coming up. I still just got to, there we go. All right. We've kind of done some of this already, but just kind of give you some idea. My name's the Lieutenant Commander Doval. Sutai is an honorific that's given. We'll talk about that in a minute. And Shepkis is my actual house name. I'm part of the Lock Wing, which is out of Houston, and I'm the executive officer for the Cold Revenge Quadrant. So we kind of did that already.
Yep.
Questions that frequently get answered. Let's go forward a slide. Is what exactly is CAG? You know, we interact with various other fan groups and with SFI, etc. But what are we? It's an international not-for-profit Star Trek fan organization with our primary focus being on Klingons, empire, language, culture, and those types of things. But it's also open to any other alien species that are interested in joining. We have a Xeno Legion that incorporates any pretty much non-Klingon. Don't generally include humans in that either. For some interesting reason, Klingons aren't considered aliens to humans aren't considered aliens to Klingons, but that's okay. But we look at costuming, prop building, writing, speaking, those kinds of things. Okay, go forward. We've been around for better than 30 years. All right. Founded back in 1989 at a convention called Starbase Indy up in Indianapolis. We recently lost our founder. It was kind of sad. When he started off, his goal was by the end of 1991, he wanted to have 20 active Klingon ships, and he well exceeded that goal. I have asked around and tried to count, and there are at least 100 right now that I know are around and active, but I don't have an exact count. But I know we continue to grow just to further Klingondom and the aspects of the culture and the cosplay and those types of things within Klingon. Go forward. So basically what we're here for is to have fun, all right? A few other little things that we talk about. You will not see us actually carrying live steel at cons. We abide absolutely by all con regulations, and you're not going to see the steel batliths or metliths or whatever. They're going to be prop weapons. It's not truly a military organization. Members are supposed to avoid at all costs embarrassing CAG. Hopefully I will accomplish that today. We will try. And I'm not authorized, nor is any other member, to actually make treaties or alliances. We talk, and at a ship-to-ship level or whatever, there are things that happen. But from an organizational point of view, the Supreme Commander makes all of the rules. As far as conduct is concerned, that's next slide. Communicate with people around you, talk about your love of Klingondom, participate, use common sense. All of these are pretty standard things. Embrace duty, seek glory. The structure logistically, it's on the next slide. Those are the various fleets that are defined. I couldn't have quoted them off the top of my head, which is why I have the slide set here. But we're part of the Cold Terror Fleet, which is the central United States. If you go to the next one, you'll see that within the Cold Terror Fleet, there's the Cold Steel Quadrant. I have to read it. Cold Death, Cold Revenge, and Cold Blood. Cold Revenge services Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana, which is pretty much what the Region 3 covers, or at least semi-analogous.
It's like Region 3 and Region 12.
And then Dartmouth. Oh, 3 and 12? Okay. I wasn't sure how far, who else incorporated the northern group there.
Yeah, Oklahoma is part of 12. Arkansas is part of 12. Yeah.
Okay. So it covers a fairly wide area. You probably have more active organizations within it. So I bet your Region 3 is approximately equivalent. I don't know how many ships you've got active within the area, but they're probably on the order of what we're looking at.
We've got 19 chapters in Texas and Louisiana.
Oh, you've got more than we do then. So, yeah. Usually it's assumed that most people that join CAG are part of the Imperial Navy. That's just kind of the generic catch-all for the divisions that we serve in. There is an Imperial Marine division for those that are more interested in focusing on military aspects of CAG, maybe not as much on the cultural aspects, but on the militaristic aspects. And then, like I referred to earlier, we have our Xeno Legion for those non-Klingon species that still want to be a part of the Klingon assault group. Frequently, we get asked as we're going around what the rank structure is. It's just straightforward in terms of ranks are awarded based on accomplishments. There's no after 3 years you're promoted to this, or when you can demonstrate this knowledge, you can. It's always set up with as you participate and you do things, you gain an experience. Promotions follow. Pretty standard, but not everybody realizes that because some fan organizations are much more time-based. It's time in organization, and CAG is not. You see longtime members that are still lower ranks, and some fairly new members gain rapidly because they're very active. We have some NCO ranks, which are for those members who have not yet put together their uniform. It's on the next slide. But there are 4 NCO ranks that start out with warrior, corporal, if you're looking at it from kind of equivalence. It goes up to corporal, sergeant, and sergeant major, which is the highest rank that you can get prior to actually putting together your official garb. It doesn't have to be a military uniform. It can be a civilian uniform. Especially for the Xeno Legion, it can be a lot of different things, but something that implies you're trying to pursue the role-playing aspects. Once you put together this, you will probably come in at second lieutenant. There's technically an ensign rank, which is set up for if you found a ship and don't yet have garb, you can be an ensign. Second lieutenant is sort of the entry rank, followed by lieutenant, and then lieutenant commander is where I am. And then the senior officer staff comes on with commander, captain, commodore, admiral, and then the highest ranking is the thought admiral, who is in charge of CAG. In addition to all of that, there are basic honorifics that are awarded for how you've progressed or what's going on. Tai, Vestai, Sutai, Zantai, and Epitai. and you can kind of follow along with the progression of them. It depends on how far your influence extends out into CAG. The more, whether you're working at a ship level, a quadrant level, a fleet level, or an international level. Right? We also get asked a lot of things. What do y'all do? I mean, you've talked about this, that you do role playing, etc. There are several events that we work with each year. One of the big ones that we have been doing for the last 3 or 4 years is called Klingons Have Vision. Terran organization, the Lions Club, always gathers glasses to distribute to those that can't afford their own. CAG has been helping with that. We know that this year it comes the first quarter of the year, so that was fortunately before all the COVID stuff set up. We gathered more than 1,000 pair of glasses nationwide or worldwide, and presented those in local groups to the Lions Club. Our next slide here has one that's within y'all's Region 3, within our quadrant, the picture of where the Suflita out of the Dallas area was presenting their glasses to the local Lions Club.
I think
So
we know that guy.
we participate in that.
That guy looks awful.
Yeah, you might well recognize this person in there. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's a local picture. It was easy to grab one. We also work with other things. There is a town in Canada called Vulcan. It's in Alberta. And they embody Star Trek, Starfleet, the whole thing very thoroughly. They have a model of a Constitution-class cruiser sitting right in their Central Park. There are a number of things that are named for different Starfleet concepts or whatever. And recently we decided that, no, not quite yet, back up. Recently we decided that it was kind of unfortunate that they were honoring Starfleet, but not honoring the Klingon Empire. I mean, without Klingons, Starfleet gets bored. So we proceeded to try to get them to rename. We were trying to get one of their streets to be renamed the Klingon Way. Eventually, the town council decided to rename their entire park the Klingon Way. And if you could see it, it didn't show up on the slide here. That panel is written in Klingon underneath the Constitution-class cruiser that's sitting there. So we've worked with trying to get that in Vulcan. We're also working, as it'll come up in a minute, with trying to get an actual bird of prey built on the other side of the park so that you'll have both the Constitution class and a bird of prey. CAGCon is the next slide. We already talked about that one. But we put together our own convention because we didn't have any place else to go. And there's just a quick screen grab of some of the people that were involved. One of our rooms on Discord was a photo ops room, and here's just one random photo op. All in all, over 300 people logged in over the course of the weekend. So we consider that to be a pretty successful convention. And we'll probably do that next year, although those discussions are still in force. The founding was back in 1989, so if you go forward 30 years, this past November was the 30th anniversary, and we had over 20 of our Klingon warriors that descended up on Starbase Indy, and one of the guests of honor was Mary Chieffo that year. If you go forward to the next picture, seated right there in the middle, holding the axlith, which is the half of the batleth on an axe handle, is Mary Chieffo, and she is surrounded by members of CAG. So it was a nice time to get out, honor our founder, and celebrate Klingondom. Yeah, Mary Chieffo is awesome. She really is. All right. We also help with what's called the Red Nose Campaign. Walgreens hosts this every year. We do that by basically getting pictures with red noses and talking to people about the campaign, just to kind of spread a little bit of cheer around this dreary Terran world that you all have here. You'll see a few Klingons wearing red noses here on this next slide. On the next slide. There. A few of us that were wearing red noses. Also talking about Mary Chifo, several years ago, she put out a call for peanut butter cup distribution. The local ships participated in that. And if you'll see the next slide, you may recognize me from that. We were distributing peanut butter cups at a convention there in Houston. So just little things that we work with on a larger than just local level. Locally, we do all kinds of things from blood drives to toy drives, working at food banks, conventions. Our local gatherings are called Good Day to Dine, off of the Good Day to Die. And just weekend retreats, which is going on next year. You'll recognize a few people out of this one also, I suspect. But that was a good day to dine. All right. As far as joint operations that have occurred between very much so local groups, a couple of years ago, there was a overnight stay at the Battleship of Texas, and it was a large Star Trek or Starfleet presence. There were a few of us Klingons that came out to join on with that. I have attended the Region 3 Summit just once, I guess. I was going to say a couple of times. It's just been once. Would have been twice, but this last one got canceled. And then we do a lot of support at conventions. So, all right. I think the next one's got a picture that doesn't look like it's showing up on the preview.
Nope, it's cloaked. You forgot to deactivate.
There's a picture of me with, I think, Jeremy, you're in it, and there's an admiral there and myself, I think, is the picture I chose. But anyway. So CAG is here to support the Star Trek fandom. All right, that's what we do. We have fun. We try to act honorably. We consider you all to be friends. We enjoy when we get a chance to do things with you. And we work to support the Star Trek universe. So that's CAG in a nutshell. I don't know if you want to do CAG questions now or if you want to get through the TRMN presentation first.
Let's try and wrangle that TRMN slide again. Although I think we might have a couple questions too. I'm trying to see them while I was screen sharing. I need someone to wrangle me.
Yeah.
Is there any CAG or TRMN members in the El Paso or Southern New Mexico area?
I don't know of any in those areas. I think there's some group in New Mexico, but that's not in our quadrant, so I'm not sure of that. I don't believe we have anybody in El Paso. I think San Angelo is about as far west as we've got anybody, and I'd have to check on that. And I don't know about TRMN.
I think we have a couple members in El Paso, but they don't seem to be very active at the moment.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if there's anything out there, but it might be, just looking for a couple more to start up that next destroyer or tin can or something.
Well, I'll double check the information I have to see what I can do.
So, probably an interesting way to do that. TRMN certainly does chapters a little differently than Starfleet does. They're still largely based after ships and things like that, but you guys have different size requirements for different classes of ships. Is that correct?
Yes. Like the destroyer is you need 6 people to start a destroyer, which is the smallest. That's the smallest class you can do. The smallest class is called a light attack class, and you need 3 people to do one of those.
And that's almost like a chapter in training, almost not a full.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pinnace, but but it doesn't have a time requirement like a pinnace or a Cellarcraft.
Okay.
In Starfleet lingo.
Fair enough. I think I got your slide up. We can try it again.
Yeah, we'll see if it works this time.
Gonna hit the see if it detonates. Fatal error. Nope. I guess you're gonna have to go off the cuff, brother.
Lucky me.
Actually, it's only doing that when I try to actually go into share mode. So maybe I can just muddle through it with without going into the presentation mode. Let me see if folks can see this correctly.
We're looking forward to being at Summit 2021.
All right, are we sharing? I think we're sharing. Can we see the?
There you go. I see it now.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I can't do the presentation mode. That seems to be where it dies. So I will just manually click through this. There's a bunch of sharp uniforms.
Yep. There on the right is David Weber, the author of a series of, which is the TRMN is based off of, in his fancy little uniform.
Yeah, it's cool that you have the creator of your guys' universe that takes part and plays along with you guys.
Yeah, he is involved in the group of some, and to some extent, yes.
Okay, so here's just a couple of the books.
Yeah. The one on the left is a main series, and everything else is like spin-offs series.
Well, almost, right? Because I think that the Saganami Island, toward the end, they're tailored back into the original, almost, right? Like
Yeah, it's more like the
blurring.
The founding of the government, the Mandalorian government, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Because the Saganami is the Naval Academy for Manticore.
Yeah, just a couple books to read, kids.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good reads. They're solid.
Yeah, in case he needs something to do during this quarantine.
There you go. I think I'm actually caught up.
Yeah. Well, let's see, on the left is somebody cosplaying as the main character Honor, and a couple more members and a tree cat on the right. And here's several different various classes of our vessels, from the destroyer up on the upper left to all the way down to a lac carrier.
Yeah, definitely not to scale. This image.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're huge. I mean, yeah. Much bigger than a Starfleet vessel.
Oh yeah. I would say most of the Starfleet vessels would range like light cruiser size in your guys' world. If
That sounds about right.
Who we are and what we do. You guys got some pretty patches here, that's for certain.
Yeah. As you can, you got several different, go on. Some more of our members.
Oh, that marine armor is awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a power armor for Marines. That's, you see, one on the left is in a Manticore Navy. One in the blue is a Grayson Space Navy uniform. Second from the right. And one on the right is on convention minimum uniform.
Okay. Just more gatherings. Uh-oh. Hot shot's about to happen.
Yeah. And the picture in the middle is them, what they call rolling pods, off-duty activity.
So kind of like Starfleet TRMN's a drinking club with a sci-fi problem.
Yes, basically.
charity stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah, we do a lot of charity work with blood drives and the Big Cat Rescue. Is our main charity for the organization. And yeah,
So what's the one on the left here? Because that is not.
I think that's a Second Island Tackle. That's a simulator. Like that's in the middle. Gaming is a big part of the organization as well. We have a boxmanship ribbons that you can earn to wear on your uniform to make you more pretty looking.
So I think the computer one, that's Artemis, right?
Yeah, it's like Artemis, but more real time strategy thinking.
Well, and then I played Saginaw. But that's a board game, right?
Yeah, there's a computer version and a board version, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I didn't know there was a computer version. I would check that out.
I think that's what they're playing in the left-hand picture.
Oh, okay. I think the reason I joined this particular org because I thought that the Navy uniforms were pretty there.
Oh yeah,
a lot of playing, but
yes, again, once you're more active and more awards and more rank, you get a better looking uniform for sure.
And then we got some of your ranks here.
Yeah, the Enlisted and Navy and I think, yes, some more the officer ranks. Some examples of the awards I mentioned earlier.
So kind of like our Marines, you guys have like actual mil-spec ribbons.
Yes. And the one on top of the Space Services Deployment ribbon is probably the easiest award you can get. All I gotta do is take a basic exam and you got it. And in the group we have a period just looks like just like Britain does and did is you guys decided to make Magic Corn decide society is like space Britain is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And of course, join us, we have fun.
Oh, there you go.
That man right there is pretty much the leader, the current head officer of the organization.
All right. Well, thanks. So, okay, now we made it through both slideshows. Thanks, you guys, for sending us. Let's open things up to some questions for these guys, if anyone's got them. Otherwise, I'll start making stuff up. So how do
I just a question there about.
Go ahead.
How do you for the as far as CAG is concerned, responding to the Facebook user right there, if you go to the website www.cag.org, just fill out an interest form that will be routed to someone in your area who will then respond to you. If it's local from Region 3, if any of your viewers are here, likely you'll end up getting routed to me. We will find a ship in your area, and if we can't, we will find something to either adjunct you to or tell you that we're working on it and let you be kind of a remote member. And then as we gain people in the area, we'll start forming ships up. But it starts with cag.org and just fill out a join, and it's a simple web form. There are no dues whatsoever. It's just an organization.
There we go. Got the CAG thing going on there.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, it's the same with the TRMN, and just go to trmn.org, and there's a form on the left-hand side in one of the tabs. And also, we also do not have any dues, yearly dues.
Is recruiting. Okay, so there's groups that are recruiting. Cool. So chapter size. So that's how you join the org. Well, what are your guys' like chapter requirements? I think we discussed a little bit with you had 6 to get a full-fledged chapter to start a destroyer.
Yeah.
But is there classes? Is there anything like that? Familiar or different than Starfleet members might know about or consider?
Well, you do need to start this and destroy. You need at least a lieutenant commander and a lieutenant to be qualified to be a CEO for the destroyer class.
And there's classes to go with those ranks?
Yeah, like a lieutenant commander for a destroyer, then like a commander. Also a lieutenant commander for a light cruiser and a cruiser, a heavy cruiser, then commander, then captain for the heavier stuff.
And what about CAG? How do chapters form?
Chapters form when there's enough interest in a given area. With just 3 members, we can actually form an outpost there. We have different classes of ships going from Bird of Praise to Burrells up through Nekvar at the top end, and my brain blanking on the end. But they're all loose kind of guidelines. There's nothing that says when you get to 10 members, you get promoted to this. When you get to 25, it's kind of a sliding as you feel like it. And there's no difference in functionality as far as what's going on. Again, if you want to form a ship in your area, if there are 3 of you that say, hey, we'd like a CAG outpost in our area, whoever wants to be in charge of that, the CEO of it, will immediately be promoted or given the rank of ensign, which is a commissioned but non-uniformed officer. And as you build your uniform, you can start going up in rank and working from there. But there's not you have to be this rank in order to be in charge of this ship or whatever. It's more open and flexible. I've got Daniel feeding me information. Thank you.
There we go.
And as for Grayson, it's very
I got a
similar.
straight man at the audience.
The Grayson Navy, sorry, the Grayson Navy is very similar. It's pitted, the member ranks and stuff and member levels are the same for the Grayson Navy as well.
Yeah, there's several. Like we showed all those patches during his slideshow. Those are all like subcomponent organizations within the larger TRMN structure.
Yeah, we even have the Sphinxian Forest Rangers that is for the kids, all the way up to 17.
I think
we have a cadet corps for minors as well.
That sounds more terrifying, like kid Klingons. That sounds absolutely disturbing.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen Alexander?
Generally speaking, you need to be a child of a CAG member. It's not absolutely, but you got to have basically a CAG member that's willing to be responsible for this child member. And there are not really a whole lot of activities that focus on them. They're sort of adjuncts, just learning about CAG with their parents or whatever, and they wanted to be a member. We've got a few that are members that we've got pictures of little babies with foreheads on, and or at least forehead uniform-like things.
Well, cool. Wondering, trying to read along, see if there's any questions that I missed. I think I'm caught up. So we've gone over chapters, and you guys both do activities in the area. So, and this is going to be a double loaded question or double-sided coin here. Well, what can we do together moving forward? Since we've had fun in the past, so you mentioned the Battleship Texas, and we got all three of us for that event, I think, and we had 50 participants last time, so that was a resounding success. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a good, if not odd, but a good fit, I think, for some of us. And we've seen from the pictures of different things, there's a lot of cross-pollination of our memberships too. What can we do going forward, both maybe with these COVID restrictions, and then hopefully when we're out of that and life resumes to some normalcy there?
Well, once we get out, we can.
I think events like this.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, maybe
events like this one are while we have COVID going on, are a good way to get us continuing to interact with one another. I think the key is just interaction, being informed of what others are doing, and being available if we wanted to participate. At least until we get the COVID restrictions lifted.
Well, maybe
paintball challenges.
Maybe we can do like another panel in the future, and maybe have like a table at the next year's summit.
Okay, that could be interesting. I think you need to talk to the lady. I can't. Over here, Lucy. I think she and Josh are handling. Which one? I don't know. But she's handling programming for that. So I'll get with her and definitely discuss that.
Well, then I'll probably send you a message fairly soon and get the ball rolling on that then.
That would be great. We are wide open right now for suggestions for panel presentations and things that we could cooperate on at Summit. Of course, our theme this year incorporates the Klingons, but that doesn't mean to exclude anybody else. We would welcome anyone that from another fan organization that would like to come and hang out with us and have a fun weekend, and we can all learn from each other as we help each other at conventions, and continue to find all these commonalities that we have as science fiction fans. So certainly reach out to me, and I'll be glad to work with you on what we might be able to arrange for Summit 2021.
Yeah, sounds good.
We did have a question come in. Sarah Haston, thank you so much for bringing us information. Does either organization operate a correspondence chapter?
Yes, Grayson Space Navy is considered our traditionally considered our correspondence branch.
Actually, I think that might be a little bit dated information. Most of the Graysons joined numbered fleets now, and I think we're down to 2 correspondence chapters.
Yeah,
I know one of them because it's the chapter I'm on, and I used to be the captain of the Barbara Bancroft, and I believe there's new skippers lurking in the comments here too.
Yeah, I've seen her
post around. And I believe the Glory is still a correspondence chapter.
Yeah,
and I think that's it. Everyone else so like Starfleet, we got rid of the distinction between correspondence and meeting chapters in our documentation.
Yeah, but anybody's welcome to join any chapter they want and be as active however they can.
And yeah, so it's kind of the same thing. They had that realization and executed it in a slightly different way. What about CAG? Any correspondence chapters?
It's kind of. There really aren't any correspondence chapters per se in CAG. Once you decide you want to join, we'll look and see if there are any ships anywhere vaguely close to you, and if need be, you'll be assigned to whatever ship, even though it may be infeasible to actually meet in a face-to-face basis. We still, even before COVID and all this stuff, there were still some virtual outreaches trying to get things done. As you know, having worked in Region 3, the cities are rather widely spaced in Texas and Louisiana. And it's not always easy to get a large group together. So we've always done some virtual stuff, but there's not really anything that represents a correspondence chapter. It just really not really a concept.
Okay. Wrapping up. Vice Chief. Holy crap. Got a novel here to read. Vice Chief of Comms AVS here, Director of both TRM and CAG. At a local level, would you both maybe be interested in a joint segment for our memberships concentrating on reviewing a work of science fiction, be it an episode of a show, book, movie? And if yes, we should get together in the near future to get the ball rolling. Okay. So you're invited to go play with Russ, apparently.
Well, I think some of our
Is that
local
like a podcast format?
Oh, I think maybe some of the local TRM members could be interested in doing something like that. We got some avid readers in the local chat group.
So we can certainly talk.
When we get things more open in the state, when the virus is on the downhill slide or we're all vaccinated, there are venues that we could see about finding something in a relatively middle ground area. I know here in Houston we have a place called Main Event that has bowling and miniature golf and little race go-karts and things like that all under one roof. And that might be a fun thing to do, to have kind of a challenge day at one of those multi-entertainment venues where we can get members from the various groups together and have some fun competition all under one roof, and they have a place where you can sit down and eat and all of those different things. So that might be an option sometime in the future, that we could get together at one of those kinds of places. And if we have enough people present, we can split up, and some do bowling and some do mini golf and some do the race cars, and do those different activities.
Yeah.
Maybe a trivia contest for each organization. Could be. That's another programming question.
Laser tag.
So, well, we're wrapping up, and I have to go wrangle all of my COs next. So thank you both very much for coming and sharing your organization with us. Very much looking forward to getting out and being able to play with you guys again in the real world once we're all allowed to go mingle. Until then, you guys stay safe, and thank you again very, very much.
You as well.
Thank you for the.
Thank you, everyone.